This is Divine Sunshine coming to you with your current energy update. I am your intuitive spiritual life coach, and I am giving you the keys to union, which means keep energizing yourself into union. So let's begin and let's talk about the elephant is in the room. In the twin flame community or the divine unisoul communities, some things are happening as far as energy wise. The divine feminine is getting pretty much feeling as if she's got to defend and push her way back. And it's in a lot of different events, such as the one that I told you I am a Chicago teacher. And some things I've been telling people that this thing that we're going through is much more than just class sizes and salary. It's more so about the divine feminine and the treatment that she has been treated all throughout centuries, and how the feminine has been viewed, and how those things as far as like education, which is really connected to the feminine, has been pretty much like suppressed or not really valued at its full worth. That goes into so many avenues as far as even like with jobs, salary, like I have on my t-shirt, DF, divine feminine equals divine masculine, the equality issues that we have. So it's much bigger. This thing is also stemming into our community. I think we've got to kind of watch, and I've seen some other kind of readers say the same thing. We're going back to the past, and we're kind of revisiting some things that we think that we have already gotten rid of. And some of that things of us being that our readers are some ways also pulling and being empathic those energies that are in the environment while we're doing this battleground, because the year 2019 is starting to kind of wrap up, and just like when things is wrapping up, you got a lot of chaos and a lot of things kind of occurring and happening. We got the new moon that's supposed to be coming in happening as well. It's bringing in some getting ready for some readiness of some newness as well. So when you got a lot of stuff like a person like getting ready for a show, a lot of times people kind of hurt, stepping on toes, talking to people out of kind of term, things are being misunderstood. That's not what they mean. All those things are getting kind of all wrapped up as we kind of wrapping up and finalizing some things. And some things from the past are coming up. And then from the collective, we're also finding ourselves kind of cleansing and purifying for the collective. That's a big thing to do. So at this time, a lot of us is finding ourselves that we got to kind of anchor down. The divine masculine is going through some changes. I'm seeing here in the cards too. We'll get to that too as well. So we're going to have like a chat beforehand, Power, because again, like I said, my dharma is educating, and so I am intuitive life coaching. So I had to do some life coaching before, and so that's part of my platform and spiel. These things that we are experiencing again is causing us. I can see us being in the middle of a storm. I see the storm warning card. A lot of us is either in the middle of it, already past it, or either on our way to it as well. And I don't like that door crack. Hold on one second. That's when I looked there. It's like, felt like somebody looking through the crack. But anyway, those things. And so we've got to really make sure that we're anchored and we're rooted and grounded. And we've got to really be able to discern between the difference between, well, I seen pink there, discern between the difference between, is this something that is my feelings, or is this something I'm feeling for the collective? I know even with myself, I think last week I was kind of going through that, because a lot of times I find myself, and me being the leader of this, in this, a lot of times you'll hear a lot of readers say, I experienced it before you did, or I'm more fast forwarded, or more accelerated and experienced these things before then. I was kind of going through it the other day, and that's kind of last week, a couple of weeks ago. And that's another reason why I had to pull off the channel as well, is because I had to kind of deal with that, because I could feel a lot of energies, a lot of things. I felt a lot of times I wanted to run for my DM. I felt a lot of times that, I was, every little thing he did, I almost feel like Bobby Brown. Every little step I make, you will be there. So every little step I made, at a couple of times I felt myself kind of doing things on purpose to kind of like get the DM away from me. I just felt that runner-ish tendencies, as I was like, I'm kind of ready to run. I'm kind of ready to run. I'm ready to run. I'm ready to run. I'm ready to run. And I was like, okay. And I could feel him like, nope, you ain't going no damn well. We done worked too hard, too far. I don't give a damn about how what we presenting here as far as in this situation. But you and I done came too far. And I had to give it to him. He was holding on like a person, like that card that says, what's the card that she's lingering on and holding on? That separation card. I thought when I read last time that separation card was just like, like me, like not being so clean, but it was like literally I was feeling like, okay, my honor, I kind of got to go out and do what I want to do. I don't want to stay with you. And it's like, okay, I was getting tired of it. I was like, whose feelings is this? I didn't already cover this. Why am I going back over this mess all over again? I thought we already been here about the third party situation. I thought we was kind of okay with it. I've been listening to Sophia Charles, and I understand you do you over there and I do me. As long as we loving each other and we're connected, I got this. And then some of this, how like a house of cards, everything just went down, and I was like, okay, I was like, maybe I could I don't want to do this no more, and that's why I knew it wasn't too much, because too much is far into the channel, and I know I didn't want to let you all down, and that's why I say sometimes, a lot of times, like, say, DJ saved my life. Sometimes this channel saves my life when I'm ready to do that and say, I think I want to say, and it's like, no, you're going to stay right in it. I'm telling my truth, okay? If you won't get anybody else that, also on this channel, I tell you, I'm still pro-union. I'm for it. But we had those moments, and I was kind of like, these ain't my feelings. This ain't my feelings. I love this boy from the last wave in his head to the second toenail that he's got in his foot. This ain't my feelings. This ain't my feelings. This is not me. I know I love him with all my heart. I'm not gonna give up on myself. This not it. He might be showing up in a different version of how I would love myself, but I'm just not gonna do that. I'm just not. So we're going through those kind of things. Also, I want to say is that we also have to take into account that when we're going to these readers, I've said this before, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Okay, what readers are saying to you. You got to remember that we are what? Spiritual beings having a human experience. I don't know what had happened and it occurred, and I'm not speaking on that. I can only talk about from my experience. And you can see it and take it and throw it over there and see does it pertain as a cookie cutter to that. There is one reader that I know is very highly respected. I've said that, even I told the reader themselves to their face. I said that and when you first gave me the reading, I had to kind of take a step back and kind of say, okay, all right then. I got to remember, just forget the messenger. It's the message that I got to pay attention to. A lot of times they come with that kind of, it depends on, and I'm not taking up and not going against. You have to remember, sometimes we have moods. Sometimes I speak on my own self, that I have talked to clients that they've asked me at the wrong time, in the wrong moment. You might get the human part of me. Is that right? No. Is it wrong? No. I mean, it is what it is at that point, okay? At all times, yes, we would love to be staying in the spiritual realm at all times. With the angels, and when you come in, we like Buddha, and we like Touch Notch, and we this, there, and yes, son, and yes, my divine feminine. This is what I, you would love for that to kind of always happen and be the experience. Sometimes that's not, okay? I went to other readers and I was like, okay, this ain't a good day. I'm a reader myself, and I could tell. I had one reader, I used to go to, I could tell this child had the TV blasting all in the background. And I asked her, say, okay, is my divine master going to get it? Yeah. Okay, can you give me some more information about that? Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. I said, did you hear what I said? I asked you about the divine master. Can you give me some more information? Are we going to get back together or what? Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, so some days that would be her experience, and when she was on, she was on. Some days I would get to her and she would be on it at 100%. Like she was really focused in on me. I always call her the TV reader. And she was of Emily Cadis. She was a pupil and a student of his. So anyway, so she knew her stuff, but them days that she went into all human, hell, I couldn't get nothing out of her, no kind of stuff like that. So I'm saying this to say that you listen to them. And then also they bring them in and say, remember what we told you, tell them. Remember that always, sometimes that the spirit will use, and I've said this on my videos before, the same very person that you liked to say something to you that will take that like a piece of chalk against the board, like a teacher go, he's like, oh, wait a second, what the hell just happened here? That will make you get up and go about it and say, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong. A lot of times I remember I used to go through that when I was first going on the journey with the DM, and I didn't know what was going on. I was going out to other readers and asking them about stuff, and sometimes they like, nah, he ain't thinking about coming back. He gonna stay with her and something like that. And sometimes they would say things that would get me so upset. I'm like, oh, hell no. I ain't about to give him up like this. And so then I would go into my power mode, and before I know it, I don't know what kind of cards Jubilee 11 could probably bring that in. Say I did forward one, I don't know what it is. I bought him, snatched him on back, Eight of Cups him or what, and 4-1, I don't know what it is. And I snatched him right on back, and he would come back into it, because I would get mad. Like, she's like, well, you ain't gonna hear from, he don't feel like talking to you, so you probably won't hear from him 2 or 3 months from now. I was like, for what I did, all I said was X, Y, and Z, and he ain't gonna, oh, hell, that ain't gonna go. And so before I know it, the next minute he would call, I didn't know the powers and the energies of how to kind of deal with it. But like I said, sometimes they say that, and the universe will allow that, and your higher self and whatever the powers that be will allow them to say things to you to make you say, oh, hell no, let me boss up. Let me take my earrings off, get my damn Vaseline out, because no, you ain't about to tell me about what's about to happen on my journey. I am the architect. Sound like what it is. Oh, like I see was little Richard. He's like, I'm the architect of this. Yes, you are the architect. Just like they showed me, the spirit guides showed me for a while, he had been seeing spiders. Spiders represent the designs and the architect of your world. You design your world. You determine how your world is. So keep those things in mind, especially when you're talking to your different readers, favorite ones. Like I said, we could jump in. Powers that be might say, jump into him saying, say this. And then you like, oh God, why you said that? And say, I said that, and they use you, and it's like, yeah, it had to be said because we wanted to light a fire underneath that person, or for you to act a catalyst. So you kind of gotta look at it at that way too. And then another thing I want to bring up, and this is the last thing, is that we got to remember that when we're talking about, as far as if our counterparts are in third party or karmic situation, rather it's a person, place, or thing, it's going to take them a while to kind of get themselves, reset themselves again. You don't want like somebody, like a person, like a soldier. And that's how I kind of picture my DM when he's off and he's in that third party situation, and I'm where I'm at in my situation. It keeps showing me also all the time this diagram of like him and I holding hands, and he's got his situation over there, and I got my situation this over here, and we still holding, we in union in the midst of all this stuff. It's like, but I gotta finish this out. And he said, and he's like that card, like separate saying, man, not my honor, I gotta finish this out. And I'm like separate say, I gotta finish this out with my family. His thing is family, his thing is family, and whatever issue that is over there. And so we're kind of, mirroring and getting that things out and over with. But my thing is, again, that we got to remember that they're like off to war. You don't want the soldier coming right back in there. It takes a time for them to get acclimated to the whole things that's going on. If they experiencing PTSD or the shock of it, and this once upon a time I did love this person, we had a relationship, this is all I know, this is the only energy I've been entwined with, or whatever physics things doing at that, it's going to take a little time for them to entangle from that energy. They ain't gonna just jump from there and discuss 1550 and then jump right on in there and say, okay, baby, let's kind of like work with it. That's just like somebody dancing. When you dance as a couple, you dancing with somebody, like I went to salsa dancing, and sometimes in classes they would have us, swapping and switching with other, dancers if men was there, so the women could get a feel with, dance with other men, So when you finished dancing with this one, hey, you had to take a little while for you kind of adjust to this one. Say, okay, well, this one lead a little hard, like he likes to do this, or he likes to do a lot of turns. Okay, then they were like, switch partners. You go to the next one, and then you got to do with that, and you're like, okay, wait a second, hold on a second. Okay, this person just like to stay in this position. This all they want to do is just cha-cha. This all they want to do. And the next one, they say switch, and the other one might like say, I like to twirl, I like to cha-cha, I like to side, the whatever like that. And so you got to get used to that. So that's the same thing. You gotta give your divine counterpart that time to kind of come back and readjust. Support them, send love to them or whatever, but they ain't gonna come straight right after that situation and come right on into that. I've even seen that with my callous twin, when he divorced his wife and went on. He a little different. He did come in there and it's like, deuces. Now at that point, and they sick or tired, and they like, hey, I'm ready to go on ahead and mix and mingle. He went right on there to the daggone online site, start looking for him somebody right off the bat, and then saying, okay, I'm gonna try this out, and then he just went on. Hey, that might be okay. That's fine. That might be the case. Who knows? He might say, this might take me 2 or 3 days. Give me a month, and I'm coming right back to you. Who knows? Is as far as how you react to him, as far as him letting go, or she letting go of that karmic situation, or that third party situation, and how's your energies with it. Say if you go on ahead and you still going on with life, say, okay, fine, y'all done release, you going on, let me keep on continuing what I'm doing, following my bliss, doing my mission, my purpose. That's gonna bring him smack dab real fast. That healing processes is not gonna take that long, because you already working on your bliss, your energy is high, and he's living off of your energy. But if you want me sitting up there, woe is me, I'm worried, he over there, maybe he might start dating on the side, dating other people, that's not going to kind of work. Okay, so kind of keep that thought in mind. My mom said again, and I thought it was I lied. My mom and I was watching a movie about a young lady that had been in the foster care system, and she wasn't able to be adopted. Her mom didn't want her, dad didn't want her. And so only one that had wanted her was a social worker. He was on the Lifetime program. And this young lady was trying everything. This lady, social worker, was so beautiful. You could tell. I told her, I said, she could be either her soulmate or her twin flame too, because she just kept on treating her. She's like, come on, let's go for swimming, and teaching her things, and let's make cookies and draw and making outfits. When she thought that the mom was gonna come back and take her back, and the mom was like, I don't want to have no power with her. I got me a new life. She's just a reminder of a mistake I had. So that thing. So all these things was happening through the scenario of what's going on. And so then the lady at the social worker was trying to make her go ahead and be adopted by somebody else. And the social worker happened to be of another ethnicity than the young lady that wanted to be adopted. And back then, this is like back in the 70s or something like that, 60s, it looked like 70s. They weren't able to adopt that kind of dynamic. And so she kept on. And so one time they just said, okay, she's going to be adopted at this other home. She went over, and then the social worker, she told her to change her shift around, so no way she could be able to find her if she came back to the place. So she ran off. And so then she ran off. And then I was like, oh, that child is bad. And Mom said, wait a second. That's not true. I guess that's divine sunshine, but it just came out before I even really thought about it spiritually. That's why I said we humans, we spiritual, but we having the human experience too. Okay, and so then or we're in our spirit and we're in human. I've seen somebody say it's the opposite of what we've been saying there, but whatever, go with me. So we went into so then she's like, hold on a second, She said it's a difference between somebody being bad and someone who's trying to get what they need or what they want. And that's what she's trying to do. She's getting what she needs and what she wants. She wants that social worker. So she's going to do by any means necessary to make that happen. That's not called being bad. That's called going after what you want. But again, to other people's views, everybody else, like I told her, I add on to, I said, well, then everybody else is like collateral damage. And she was like, yeah. So my thing is that, again, when we talk about the divine counterparts and they doing what they doing and they call themselves going on bliss, we have to think of, it's the difference between, a lot of us been viewing our counterparts as the bad, like you the negative one. But have we ever stopped to think about, they're just really trying to so-called go after their bliss, what they think is love, what they think is what makes them happy, what makes them feel that they are healed. That's something that we got to kind of think of. And that would make me kind of think, I say, oh my God, she's right. I got to stop looking at him as that way, because you're saying he did X, Y, and Z. Now he's the negative and I'm the positive. That's not so, because again, we got to remember again that we are practicing unconditional love. And this is going to lead me to my last point, and I'll stop here and I'll call this Fireside Chat, and I'll do the actual reading on the next one. I'll be nice this time. Most time I just linger it all together, but in honor of Mel, says my things, I fall asleep. So this one I'm going to keep it short and brief for you, for Mel. So I'll do it for her. My thing is that when things happen, just like in the household, we are getting to the point that in 2020, we are supposed to be in union as a community together. If we don't have nothing else. I'm studying the class now. It's called globalization, global perspectives, and how to understand that what you do is also impactful, not just only on you, your community, but on the world. And it's very interesting how this timing falls, because right now we're thinking about a global aspect as far as the twin flame community. We cannot be at the point that we are at each other's throats, talking about each other and not supporting each other at this point. It's too crucial of a time. That's why I said we around this. This is like the final countdown. So we're at the final countdown right now, because this what we're going into this 2020 is living the vision in which you individually have came up with. Okay, so now at this point, it is very crucial that we really find ways to be interconnected with each other, that we connect with one another, and that we support and uphold each other. We are here to show a new template of love, which means we have to be going back to our sovereign self, which means with clearing out with all the hurts and the things that and principles and the things that we have learned from our parents, from our experiences, everything is starting off with a clean slate. So 2020 is the vision, but it's also starting off with a clean slate, which means if we're going back to that, we're learning how to go back to being like the source or the powers that be or the universe, which is being a real carbon copy of Jesus or Joshua, of the way shower or the light worker original, which is to do unconditional love. That means that when we are talking to each other, when some things, we've got to practice again the principle of charity. And I've talked about that on this channel as well. What is their intent? Is the intent, we got to give them the best of the ability. Is the intent when they're talking to me is to tear me down, or are they really trying to be there to help and uplift? If they are, you can do the same thing, simply say, okay, that's your experiences. I always say to them, say, the Ho'oponopono prayer, I forgive you, I forgive you, hold a second, I forgive you, I thank you, I apologize, thank you. I apologize. It's like, I'm so tired. Would you get it together? I apologize. Please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. I apologize, because why I didn't get the beginning part. It's because I don't like to say the sorry thing. That's a whole different story. Okay, so that's why it always throw me off. I apologize. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. You say that clears off all. That's the most best sovereign prayer right there. That clears out all things, timelines, ancient, that works to reset everything back between you and another person. Okay, and really listening to the principles of charity, which is really was the intent behind what was done. That's in anything. Rather, I say something on the show that you don't like, or somebody else says something on the show you don't like, in life, or the DM, or whatever. You have to go back, reset again, unconditional love, because probably a lot of things that we do with the powers that be, they too will probably say, it's so easy for me to dismiss her, please, what she done did. It's so easy. You're like, but they say, but I love her and I created her, and I'm not going to do that. Just like a parent, all the kids get on your nerves, they do X, Y, Z, even though they might say, I disown you, you're dead to me. They still have sleeping nights thinking about you, and still praying a silent prayer to say, God, watch over them wherever they go. Although I didn't say she dead to me, but it's still unconditional. I still love them. Okay, so that's the same thing again. We're here to practice unconditional love. I seen on this latest incident that's going, and I'm not doing judgment, it's called the truth. A lot of us are not practicing being true divines and practicing unconditional love. I see people take a hard line in the sand, told people, also giving out, throwing out karmic things, wishing ill will on other people. Wait a second. That's not what we're here for. And like I told my mom, I say, I can see why some of them ain't in no union with, that's a fact, with their divine masculine, physically, in communications or whatever. If you're talking about that, you pushing out there. Remember again, that energy that you put out there, especially with us being divine, it comes back instantaneously. It comes back double fold, real quick, that energy that you throw out there like that. And I definitely know the higher you go, the more faster it becomes. Because I could think something about my DM, and the next damn minute, I done tripped over something, saying, where the hell that came from? Just for me thinking negative. Because really, actuality, I'm thinking that I'm saying something about myself. And in actuality, when you're talking about us being community and we're connected, you're talking about yourself as well when you're throwing out that stuff. So, that's another way we thinking about when somebody also talks to you. Say, okay, are you really talking to me, or are you really saying something about yourself? That's something, baby. You kind of doing a forward and a slip and letting it slip on out. Okay, that just came to me. Okay, like I said, I'm not taking any kind of sides. I'm neutral. I don't know what actually had went on, but what I do know is I don't like the result and the reaction that has came about just about in this 24 hours about this one thing within the community. Now I'm one channel. Again, I don't know how far this will space out, but I am going to cut it off and stop it here in honor of so it won't be so long and it don't be sleepy. For someone, I got the message too on that one. But however, my stuff is power packed and it has all the stuff. My stuff is accurate and that. And so that point, it resonates with a good majority of people. And so then you just got to remember, a lot of times, again, remember who you are. As long as you know who you are, as Michelle Obama said, when they hit you low, you go high. That's in life, people, circumstances, situations, spiritual energies, whatever. That's what you keep in charge. So again, remember, this thing is bigger than you. It's bigger than what these the egos that's being presented. Is bigger than whatever things that's also coming towards us. We are getting ready for 2020. Okay, the vision, where we're actually living out the vision. And this stuff, we've got to come together as community, like they say in Soul Food. These fingers together make a powerful blow. Us together divided, it's all over with. The powers, the other things, if you call it Illuminati and whatever kind of things is they're talking about, there's other things that's watching, that's stopping, and the interference and stuff like that. That part there plays a part in it, or dark energy, whatever way you want to call it. I don't know what you think that's going against the system in here knows. And you have to make sure at all times that you stay grounded and you stay shielded. All right, that is the end of my thing, my fireside chat, my rally. Again, my rally, letting you know that again, oh, that's this doing that. Again, it starts with union with self, union with the DM, union with the community. That's your thing. Okay, until next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, Nama go. Love you.